Hello and welcome to my preview of the 2021 New Japan Cup. As back to our normal schedule in March of the New Japan Cup. Obviously, last year March rolled around and then COVID happened. As the winner of this New Japan Cup here in 2021 will be in the first ever unified title match, taking on Kota Ibushi. So that should be a lot of fun to see who wins this goddamn thing. As we'll start off Evil. Roshi Tanahashi, they have buys as Evil getting the buy because he won last year's New Japan Cup, and Hiroshi Tanahashi getting the buy because he's never openweight champion. Now, in years past, the champions usually are not involved in the New Japan Cup. I think last year they completely voided that, and maybe it was even 2 years ago they even voided it to where everyone was in it. I personally love when the champions were not in it just because it also gave them a chance to take a break, but it also elevated their status of being above the rest of the crop of guys, and plus gives you an opportunity to elevate somebody on your roster to where they are at that type of level. I think that happened with Zack Sabre Jr. When he won the New Japan Cup, it elevated him to the point where it was like, wow, this guy, gets a title match out of it. So probably his one and only IWGP, title matchup he'll ever have, but that's still, I think it was a cool opportunity. Gave, the awesome match with Katsuyori Shibata and Kazuchika Okada. So New Japan Cup in the years past has given off some great moments. Last year, it did not, as Evil winning, then turning, and kind of killed New Japan's momentum. And was the first kind of down year as far as booking-wise for New Japan, I think, in a very, very long time. But so far, so good for 2021. I felt like they've done a lot of good things in the right direction to kind of push for a new era of New Japan, and certainly with the unification that's going to happen. So just, kind of saying, for the buys, as who's going to take on Evil and Roshi Tanahashi in the second round is we shall see. As Satoshi Kojima, Jeff Cobb, and Tetsuya Naito and Great-O-Khan are having their matches on the New Japan Anniversary show. As if you saw my preview of that, talked about those matches a little bit more in depth. For this video, we're just going to say who I think is going to win. Jeff Cobb, I think, is going to beat Satoshi Kojima. Seems pretty simple. Felt like Jeff Cobb versus Evil would be a fun match to see as well. I was hoping for a nice run for Jeff Cobb in the New Japan Cup, but felt like he's just going to beat Kojima, then lose to Evil here in the second round. For Tetsuya Naito and the Great-O-Khan, I personally feel like Tetsuya Naito's injury is a lot more than what they're giving off. I don't think he's going to make it throughout this entire New Japan Cup. I think he's going to take the rest of March off and, come back for maybe Sakura Genesis, maybe even miss Sakura Genesis. I just feel like that injury is a lot more than what they're telling us and what they're kind of giving out as far as feedback-wise and injury updates and whatnot. But, that's just kind of my opinion. Plus, I think it'd be great to see Great-O-Khan get an upset win here. But then again, though, looking at this kind of side of the bracket, this top left side, you have Kojima and Jeff Cobb, Naito, Great-O-Khan, Toru Bad Luck Fale. Tetsuya Naito is by far the biggest star out of everybody on that list. So really, this is either an opportunity to have Naito kind of go and have him and Evil as a quarterfinal matchup to see who's going on to the semifinals, or you have Great-O-Khan going on a run and a half, upsetting Naito in the first round, beating Toru Bad Luck Fale, and then having the quarterfinal match with Evil, where Evil ends up winning and going to the semifinals. Either of those scenarios, I think, makes sense. Really, really hoping not to see Evil in the semifinals. So there is that, but I just feel like Ghetto's got a hard on for him right now. He's going to push him to where he's in the semifinals. Just where I'm going based off of that side of the bracket. For the bottom side now, for the March 5th and March 6th. Well, I guess the March 5th was also Toru Bad Luck Fale, but Hiroki Goto versus Taichi, Kazuchika Okada versus Shingo Takagi, Tomoaki Honma and Minoru Suzuki and the Juice Robinson and Kenta for March 6th. My God, I think as far as the bottom part, for the first round days, March 6th is probably going to be the best one. You have Okada and Shingo, which is definitely going to be the best first round matchup of the tournament. You have Honma and Suzuki, which I think is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a lot better than a lot of people expect, and I think those two are going to kill each other. Very much going to have a never open weight title feel to it. And Juice and Kenta, I think, is going to be a fun match as well. So you have a lot of great first round matches that I'm excited to see. we're going to stay on, obviously, Goto Taichi. That's another great first round matchup that I'm excited to see. Obviously, they've had their history in the past with never a point title. You can go either way with this, because I personally think Shingo's going to get an upset win. You can go Goto Shingo in the second round. You could go Taichi Shingo in the second round. I don't think Okada's going to win in the first round just because I don't think he needs it. He's when these big stars really don't need the New Japan Cup. You know, in years past, you've seen Fale upset like Okada and Tanahashi in years past. So I kind of like that feeling of upsets with this New Japan Cup. It gives, things a lot more exciting, and I think it makes things a lot more unpredictable. But for Goto and Taichi, I'm going to go with Taichi, but really you could go either way. I think that's probably one of the toughest ones to call with Goto and Taichi. And Kazuchika Okada Shingo, that match is going to be fucking awesome. Probably going to be the best match of the first round. I'm going to go with Shingo. I think the upset should happen. He avenges his New Japan G1 Climax loss to him as well. I just feel like that's going to be great for him. And that's a big-time win for Shingo, too, as far as singles-wise. He just dropped the belt to Tanahashi at the New Beginning shows. Would be a great way to give him some momentum and get him rocking and rolling to where he can have I think he could win this whole goddamn thing. I think that would be a great person to have win the cup. Having Shingo and Kota Ibushi for the unified belts, I think that'd be fucking awesome. That's just my opinion on the matter, though. It's Tomo Akiyama and Minoru Suzuki. Again, a match I'm actually looking forward to seeing. I think it's going to be better than a lot of people think. I think Minoru Suzuki is going to get the win, though, as just Suzuki Kenta in the second round, because I don't think Juice is going to beat him. I think Kenta Suzuki in the second round would be a lot of fun. Then you have, in the quarterfinals of that bracket, you could have Kenta taking on Shingo, which... that's fucking awesome, and I would love to see that as well. So we're just kind of hoping for that. And whoever wins that hopefully beats Evil. If that's the case. If it's Naito, then, Naito Shingo, that'd be a lot of fun. And Naito Kenta, obviously they've had their past. So either way, I think it works. But I'm hoping, as far as just in general who should win the New Japan Cup, I'm hoping for Shingo. I think Shingo would be a great person to have win the cup, and it'd be a great title match with Ibushi to have the first unified title match at Sakura, so I think that'd just be perfect. On to the other side of the bracket now, as we're going to the 7th and then the 9th, as they're skipping the 8th, as Hiroshi Tenzan, Will Ospreay, Gabriel Kidd, and Zack Sabre Jr. Obviously, as far as these two matches go, probably the easiest to predict. Ospreay is going to win, and then Zack Sabre Jr. is going to win. But for the second round, Ospreay, Zack Sabre Jr. That's obviously interesting. The problem is, Will Ospreay is a bit of a daff, and you have Zack Sabre Jr., who, at least he's not part of the sexual fucking predators that are, the cesspool of the UK scene, but he's just kind of someone who's kept quiet, and as I at least stood by, kind of hiding by New Japan, New Japan, as far as speaking out and kind of people, they've used Michael Hogan in the past, they've used a lot of people that they should not have used. Marty Scurll's backstage for a New Japan Strong show, which that should not have happened. It's a goddamn shame. That's the one thing that I hate about New Japan right now, is just their kind of stand-bying of speaking out and not really reprimanding and sending people that should not be in the company out of the company. And because I got a bad feeling Ospreay's going to be in the finals. I just have a bad feeling. I hope he does not win. He should not be anywhere near this at all, but it is what it is. As far as Yuji Nagata taking on Yota Tsuji and Tomohiro Ishii versus Sonata, obviously Yuji Nagata, Yota Tsuji, you could have an upset moment where the young lion beats Yuji Nagata, but I highly doubt that. Yuji Nagata getting the win in the first round is awesome. Hopefully he does not, his judgment and kind of how he's feeling as far as performance-wise is not skewed because of the injury to Tetsuya Naito. So hopefully he can kind of bounce back with a great performance here against Yota Tsuji. Then Tomohiro Ishii and Sonata, what a fun match. Obviously these two, I would say, are polar opposites as far as their style and how they work and how they do things. But Tomohiro Ishii has definitely taken, I think, a step as far as he's finally kind of reached the plateau of just kind of his performance, and kind of you expect so much. And I think that last year's New Japan G1, he did moments of good stuff, but I don't think it was to the. Then again, I mean, in my opinion, I think he's probably the greatest G1 Climax performer ever. Right? He's had just phenomenal matches, like all-time matches in that G1, where you just kind of throughout the years you can kind of pick. Like if you had like a best of Tomohiro Ishii G1 Climax, it's probably like one of the greatest runs you'll ever see. Like his match with Tanahashi, I think it was 2011. That was like fantastic. Him and Okada in 2016. Just matches like that when you just go, this is on. And him and Ibushi have had some wars. Him and Suzuki have had wars, stuff like that. But for the New Japan Cup, as years pass, I talked about this at the anniversary show preview, but I have always wanted Tomohiro Ishii to win a New Japan Cup. But now this is the first year where I'm like, all right, he's not going to win. I don't think he might not even make it out of the first round. If he does, I would hate to see him lose to Ospreay. I don't see him getting out of the quarterfinals. It's a goddamn shame. But yeah, either way, though, this is going to be a tough one to call, too. It could go Ishii, could go Sonata. I'm hoping for Ishii, because I think Ishii-Nagata would be a fun-ass match, and they've had, they just kind of built very similar. That never open-weight kind of style match would be a lot of fun. But also Sonata and Yuji Nagata would be a fun match as well. Either way, though, I'm cool with either war. As our next set of first-round matchups. So basically, before we go into that, actually, I want to go back to the bracket we just saw. So this top right side of the bracket, you have Tenzan, Ospreay. Obviously Ospreay's winning. Zack Sabre Jr., Gabriel Kidd again. Zack Sabre Jr. obviously winning. And Yuji Nagata is probably going to be Yota Tsuji, and then whoever wins between Ishii and Sonata. So basically, I think Ospreay's going to make it to the semifinals, maybe even the finals, which saddens me because I don't think he should be there, just for a personal, his personal behavior, his personal, what he does outside the ring more than what he does inside the ring. But I think that's going to really skew this New Japan Cup, is kind of what they do with Ospreay. If he makes it to the semifinals, which he probably will, I don't think he's going to lose to Zack, and I don't think he's going to lose to either Ishii or Sonata, or even Yuji Nagata if they make him go on a crazy run. But it just saddens me, but it is what it is. As David Finlay taking on Chase Owens, Yoshihashi, Yujiro Takahashi, then Toa Henare and Jay White. As far as these first-round matchups, this is definitely the worst of the bottom of the first kind of brackets here. Dave Finlay, Chase Owens, another speaking out person that is not a good person outside the ring and should not be involved in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but here we are. Yoshihashi and Yujiro Takahashi. Poor Yujiro has been stuck. I mean, I think he's actually has been worse now than he has ever been in recent years. Yoshihashi, I think he's coming off of, he had a good year last year, had a good G1, but it's still not on the same level a lot of these other guys. And then you have Toa Henare and Jay White. Would be fun to have an upset. Toa Henare upsetting Jay White, that'd be nuts and that'd be crazy, but I just feel like Jay White, they're probably going to do Ospreay Jay White as a semifinals match. I just have a feeling that that's what they're going for. As far as this right side of the bracket, I feel like Jay's going to beat Tanahashi. Jay's going to either lose or beat Ospreay, either way. Just Jay White, I feel like they're going to have him have a big New Japan Cup year, and, him kind of, so far, losing at Wrestle Kingdom and saying, I'm leaving, then he comes back, and it's this whole, he's really built up a lot of himself, and I feel like New Japan is going to reward that build by giving him a finals or even winning the New Japan Cup. So that's another person that could definitely have that type of performance. I actually feel like Jay White in the ring has kind of regressed as well, sadly. I don't know if it's just from COVID not being in the ring or anything. I just feel like he's kind of... Though, to be fair, though, his match with Bushi was really, really good. So I will say that. I don't think he's had, like, a bad match in a hot minute. Obviously, him and Ishii from last year's G1, where they were just, like, doing, like, fucking dance. They were basically dancing for, like, 30 seconds. That wasn't great, and I think a lot of people are taking shots at Jay because of that spot. And also Ishii, too, which saddens me, but I feel like this is going to be a great moment for him to kind of bounce back. But also, too, if Henare upsets him, that's a huge win. That's a guy who's needed a huge win for a long time in New Japan. What a great way to push him up into, like, a big scene. Have him just lose to Tanahashi, then you have Tanahashi making his way basically to the semifinals and having him lose to sadly Ospreay as well. So they have that. Either way, Jay White or Tanahashi, they'll be the one that's in the semifinals out of this side of the bracket. So the finals, basically, who do I want to see in the finals? Shingo, Jay White would be probably the best scenario for me. I feel like they're going to have it be Shingo Ospreay, which the match will probably be great, but just as far as personal reasons, I do not want that to happen. I'm hoping for a Shingo win. Don't think it's going to happen. I feel like someone on the right side of that bracket is going to win, whether it's Ospreay or Jay White. Just, Gaijin getting a win for the New Japan Cup, having it be... Because Ibushi, Jay White for the unified belts, that makes a lot of sense, but also Ibushi, Ospreay, that'd be nuts, as far as in-ring-wise. Obviously, personal-wise, Ospreay probably shouldn't be in that opportunity. But, and also Shingo, Ibushi. So those three matches I are just looking at in the future going, man, that'd be a great main event there, that'd be a great main event there, that'd be a great main event there. So it's just kind of, those three names jump out to me the most. Especially like Ospreay with the Empire. Jeff Cobb has been great so far. Okan's been great. Ospreay, obviously, personal piece of shit. But, the Okada match was really good at Wrestle Kingdom, so you have that. Just in the ring-wise, he does obviously very talented, but outside the ring, not a nice person, not a great person at all. Not really nice, but not a good person. But again, I guess that's kind of the way speaking out is. Obviously, you want to shun those who were, sexually assaulting and all that. But with Ospreay, he is, I will say this, his status and his kind of place in that is very unique because he did not sexually assault anyone, but he did basically blacklist someone who was and took the side of the accused and not the victim. So you could, whatever your morality is on that, me personally, I think that's not very cool at all. And, we shouldn't be victim blaming. We shouldn't be, blacklisting. I guess blacklisting would be the correct word. Wouldn't want to blacklist somebody from not being able to compete over in Japan because, they basically blocked her from going to Stardom. This whole thing. And it just, when you have guys like, Shingo, Jay White, non-problematic people should definitely get those opportunities before Ospreay is. That's just kind of where I'm saying this, but that's the morality, I think, is going to play a huge part in pro wrestling, especially for New Japan, where they seem to not care at all about speaking out, so they're going to be booking a lot of these guys. And the same thing with Elgin. When Elgin was a piece of shit, or was outed as a piece of shit, I was very anti-Malcolm Elgin, and I'm going to kind of keep that same kind of path. If they're a piece of shit, they're a piece of shit, not going to be a fan of. That's just me, though. You're your own person. You can do your own thing. If you view Will Ospreay just as the character pro wrestler, it's up to you. It is up to you. But for me, think of the complete person. That's just me, though. As thank you for listening to this New Japan Cup preview. Hope whoever you think should win the New Japan Cup, or you think your finals are, hey, comment down below. Let me see if we're on the same wavelength, or if I'm the only ones like Shingo, or Jay White. If just let me know. Let's have a conversation about the New Japan Cup. That's what it is at the end of the day. As pro wrestling fans, it's about having conversations about the product. So, thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys. I'm not sure when I'm going to do a review or anything, or not really sure, to be honest, about this New Japan Cup. Probably will preview the second round, too, so just, look up. Actually, when does that start? I'm just going to look real quick. I think it's wow, that's the 11th? That's kind of weird now I'm thinking about it. I think that's a Sunday, so probably not. Probably will have to be the finals of the New Japan Cup. Probably will be, that's probably where we're going to go with that. As, we'll catch you guys for the finals of the New Japan Cup. Hopefully it is a Shingo Jay White finals. Take care, everyone.